Sonichu time! Yep, I'm keeping my promise where I said that at the end of every month I would be reviewing Sonichu. So, if you want a quick sum up, Sonichu is a webcomic that went down in internet history as one of the worst stories alongside crap like Agony and Pink and My Immortal. So, let's go back to Sonichu. I know we forgot to review the cover in issue 11, but here we go. The cover is very sloppy, with lazy design, terrible perspective, what with the sky and the ground not having any separation lines, and awkward posing with the characters. On the cover, Chris says, "Go, Sonichu, go and zap to the extreme," and Sonichu says, "I will, thanks, father." 1. Why is he thanking him? 2. Why is Chris Sonichu's father? Unless he... I don't want to think about that. Then we get a disclaimer saying Sonichu is copyrighted, and any people appearing in the comic as coincidental or parodic in nature. Hey, to make this fun, how about we count down every single thing that's from something else that's obviously proving that this is not copyrighted? So we begin with an opening crawl telling us that the perfect chaos creature from Sonic Adventure 1 is attacking the city as a boy, not male, boy Pikachu is 5 miles away.
Because poor literacy is cool.
So Sonic goes supersonic and fights the creature as Pikachu wants to join the action. So Sonic ends up going into the creature's mouth and gets spit up and hits Pikachu and they collide and they proceed to crap a rainbow. Then 15 miles away we see a girl, again not female but girl Raichu, who then gets hit by the ugliest rainbow ever. And apparently the rainbows turn them into Sonichu and that thing. Okay, Sonichu turns into Sonichu because Sonic and Pikachu collided, that makes sense. But why is it when the rainbow hits the Raichu, it becomes this Amy Rose looking thing? So that thing talks to Kel, its owner, and sees that the Raichu is now transformed. "Oh my, you're beautiful as a rose." Yeah. No. And she names herself Rosichu. So Sonichu wakes up and sees Sonic fighting the creature, which, by the way, their fight looks like them in a game of hanky-panky. So Sonichu decides to join the fight and uses his thunder attack, which causes random lightning to come out of nowhere and hit the creature. Thunder and lightning are two different things. They are not interchangeable. So they take out the creature, and people who look like Q-tips say, "Sonic, Sonic, Sonic, yay!" And Sonichu has a monologue. Wow, what a battle. Not only that, but I've received super speed, a new body, and above all else, I'm able to talk like a human. Wow! And apparently, I look like that hedgehog I've helped earlier. From the cheers, I guess his name was Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic had just about the same abilities as I do now, and I guess I am now a hedgehog now too. I am a new Pokemon. I am no longer Pikachu. So with inspiration, I am now Sonichu. And from then on, Sonichu went on to make new friends as well as enemies. He will use his abilities to stop evil and save the world. Stay tuned for more zapping adventures with Sonichu, says Chris, who kind of looks like a cross between Vanilla Ice and Ace Ventura. Then Chris decides to show us around the world because I guess show don't tell isn't really an important rule in writing anymore, as he then tells us that this takes place in Quickville, and then gives us characters' descriptions, starting with Sonichu. He's 16 years old and enjoys hobbies like running, surfing, chillin'. Who wrote this? 90s kid? We then learn that he also enjoys scenery, the colors yellow and blue, and loves Rosichu. Rosichu is a beautiful, yeah, no, girl electric hedgehog Pokemon who enjoys shopping, frolicking through fields, cooking, and picking flowers. Subtle sexism! Other facts is that she's 15, she's Kel's Pokemon, and she's in love with Sonichu. Despite the fact that they have not even met to this point. We're even introduced to characters who are not even going to be in this issue, like Black Sonichu, or Blatchu, which sounds like someone trying to describe what a sneeze sounds like, and who's basically created from Sonichu's DNA and Cherry Cola. Wait until issue 2 when we actually get to that. And Natesirk, who's the son of Giovanni from Pokemon. Then we meet the Chaotic Combo, and no, it sadly does not come with fries. No, actually there are 5 more electric hedgehog Pokemon, including Wild, a leaf type, Bubbles, a water type, Angelica, a flying type, Punchy, and yes, that is seriously his name, a fighting type, and Magitan, a psychic type. Then, more introductions. Hey, remember when the backstory in a comic was actually getting to see that and not have it just blatantly told to the audience? Anyway, we meet Flame the Sunbird, who kind of looks like Kazooie, and 3 more electric hedgehog Pokemon. Chris Chan, Serhama, and Wesley. Then we get villains, including Mary Lee Walsh, whose head's kind of shaped like a Dorito, and Jerkops, and then Chris dedicates the rest of the page to himself. Well, with all that out of the way, we can finally move on to the next 2 stories. So, Episode 2, Genesis of the Love Hogs. It begins with Sonichu wandering through the woods for food. It's been over a week now, and I am so hungry. Not only that, but I am so lonesome. So Sonichu comes across Rosachu and stares at her as she looks at a river for no reason. Sonichu then follows, or as I like to call it, stalking, Rosachu back to Kel's cottage, and Kel says that she's making Brunswick stew with her microwave.
Yeah, no, okay, that bit's old.
Kel tries hooking Rosachu up with a Dragonite, and Rosachu rightfully points out that that wouldn't work. Kel then says, well, can't say I didn't try. Who knows? Your love might be right around the corner. Or right at the door.
Joke fail.
So Rosachu answers and finds Sonichu at the door and pulls the random stranger into the house. My name's Rosachu, but you can call me anytime. Kel walks in and finds Rosie, Risey, and tells her to entertain her new boyfriend.
Sexual innuendo.
We flash a little later and we see the two looking up at the night sky, and they eventually kiss, or eat each other's faces, either or, and the moon watches as it has a really weird looking snowman face. As episode 3 begins, oh my god, this is horrendous. Okay. Let's point out some of the stuff that sucks about this drawing. Rosachu is embarrassingly tiny, Sonichu's head is gigantic, the floor has no clear pattern, the fountain looks like a kiddie pool, the GameStop and KB logos don't even remotely look anything like they do in real life, Sonichu and Nate Circus spelled wrong in the title, and, well, we can go on, but let's continue. So we begin in mid-fight scene, and Sonichu flashes back to what happened before, with the gang going to the mall, and Chris proves his sexism with this. Well, at first it was easy due to her willpower, but because of all the bargains and coupons...
Ha ha ha! Women love shopping. That's not sexist at all.
So the Zapdos shows up, takes Rosachu, and Sonichu and the Zapdos fight it out. And Sonichu uses the final blow countdown, as he calls it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So Nate Cirque returns the Zapdos and runs off with his Raikou.
Wait, you got Raikou and you're not even gonna use it?
Anyway, Sonichu is thanked by people who look like Klansmen, Rosachu, and Kel, and Chris, who then thanks him by saying this. As mayor of Quickville, I congratulate you and your victory, and I thank you for saving the day. Good job, Sonichu, who responds, thank you. So in the epilogue, Chris talks to Sonichu. Well, Sonichu, I feel like this comic is my best work yet. I feel so too, Father, but wow, all this amazing creativity, and you're still girlfriend-free? Yeah, you roll with that. Chris then rides off to the mall, and Sonichu says, there he goes, with a grin on his face, and in the end, he'll say, one girlfriend, please.
To who? McDonald's? Santa Claus? I'm pretty sure you gotta at least work to get a girlfriend.
So you'd think that'd be the end, but there's some bonus comic strips, so let's give those a quick look. The first comic strip basically just shows what happens after the comic storyline, which really amounts to nothing. The second involves Sonichu and Rosachu being spied on by Black Sonichu, and it ends with, Black Sonichu, stop following us around.
That was a joke. Did you laugh, people? Because I'm not.
The next comic strip is just a lame fight scene between Mary Lee Walsh and Chris Chen and Sonichu. The last comic strip involves Chris Chen being attacked by Mary Lee and the Jerk-Ops, and then Rosachu and Sarah must show up and save Chris, and issue 1 is officially over.
Yeah, no surprise here. Sonichu sucks.
The artwork is childish, the plot is absurd even by fan work standards, and the constant errors like spelling and artwork just get really annoying. Part 1 barely gets anything accomplished, Part 2 is just there to be a pre-established love story, and the third one just does nothing but have forced fight scenes, and the bonus comic strips are just sort of there.
Overall, Sonichu sucks. Well, if you want to see more Sonichu, you'll have to wait until the end of February where we talk about issue 2. Until then, I'm the Media Whisk because Wire Forum wasn't enough. Sonichu time yet again. Last time on Sonichu, we had Pikachu and Sonic collide, who then crapped a rainbow, which created Rosachu, and then basically Sonichu and Rosachu went into a love story worse than Twilight, or 50 Shades of Grey for that matter. Then Sonichu fought Nate Cirque, who is Chris Chan's evil counterpart, and then lame forgettable bonus comic strips. But now, let's begin with Sonichu issue 2. The cover shows Sonichu and Sonic looking at Black Sonichu in a body tank. Is that supposed to be your clone? Unfortunately, Sonic, yes. Chemical X? No. Cherry Cola. And the stupidity begins. The story officially starts with Giovanni teaming up with Robotnik, who looks constipated, and they decide to create their own Sonichu with the remains of Sonichu's DNA, which, coincidentally enough, is on Zapdos' beak from the battle last episode. So a henchman, Bill, spills Cherry Cola, which for some reason is over near the DNA, and just says, uh-oh, oh well. Whatever. I kind of wanted to get fired anyways. Analyzing DNA, adding imputed data, Pokemon identified, Beijing cloning sequence. You are a Sonichu. You obey only Giovanni and his son Nate Cirque. You are dark, evil, and very powerful. When awakened, you will seek and fight your original counterpart. Sonichu, Nate Cirque, powerful, counterpart? What information are these fools trying to brainwash into me? I can do whatever I please, but I'll play along. The next page is really confusing to tell who's talking because there's way too many speech bubbles with no specific pattern to tell how the flow of the conversation goes. Also, gotta love how the background is nothing but pure white, despite the fact that in the next few frames, there is a background. Well, anyway, he is awoken, and Nate Cirque says, "He is black!"
You racist!
My name is Nate Cirque. I am your master. This is my father, Giovanni. Do not cross him. And this is Robotnik. My pleasure to make your acquaintance, Black Sonichu. Mine as well. Please accept these rocket boosters for your first birthday present. Black Sonichu's rocket boosters speed increase. So they take him to a room, and Giovanni asks, "Any questions?" Oh yes, as a matter of fact, I have two questions. First of all, was Bill fired for what was technically a mistake for knocking the cherry cola into the DNA strands? And secondly, is Black Sonichu allowed to drink cherry cola? So Robotnik gets Sonichu's skill sheets, presumably off of Wikipedia, and they test Black Sonichu's skills like speed, strength, and spin dash. And it goes pretty successful. And yeah, I know there's a slight difference, but let's face it, they're almost exactly the same. So Black Sonichu is sent on his mission. In episode 5, we begin by seeing the world and how it is really demented from really far away. So Blatchu, Gesundheit, is sent on his mission to catch Rosachu, who is with Sonichu in the Zapbud fields. This is nice. The Zapbuds, the sky, the clouds, and you, Sonichu. I couldn't enjoy it without you either, Rosie. Without you here, this would be boring as hell. So Rosachu gets a call from Kel, and Sonichu carries her, and from the look of this frame, Sonichu is blowing up like a balloon. Well, anyway, Sonic is running home, and Blatchu hides in bushes, and he says, "Boy, I need a countdown." Why? Well, the point is, he kidnaps Rosachu, and Sonichu collide into each other. And in this picture, it looks like Sonichu is getting a BJ from the air. So Rosachu finally opens her eyes and finds out that she's being kidnapped. "You're not my sweet bolt, Sonichu." "No, ha ha ha. No, I'm not." So Sonichu and Sonic recognize each other, and we get a cluster screw of text which is patterned by numbers. Oh yeah, now there's conversation pattern. Anyway, this huge collection of dialogue is completely pointless because basically at the bottom of the page it has Sonichu saying, "Let's find Rosachu," and Sonic saying, "Yeah." In episode 6, we see Rosachu in a cage. "Darn it, these bars are rubber-coated. When Sonichu gets here, he'll give you all a real shock." Yeah, you can easily slip those bars, dude. Anyway, Robotnik explains that they will lure Sonichu there, then trap him under a glass dome, which will drain his powers. And then he openly says, "You and your father can do whatever you want to him, and why should I care?" That's a good point, because technically Robotnik's Sonic's villain. So Sonic and Sonichu make it to Giovanni's gym base, and Sonic says that Robotnik is going to be there because there is a random Robotnik ribbon. Why would you put a ribbon with your face on it if you're trying to keep a low profile, especially from people that could stop your evil plans? So Sonichu bursts in, and they unleash Blatchu, and they engage in a lame fight scene. Sonichu gets caught, and Sonic busts in and says to Robotnik, "Were you expecting Bugs Bunny?" Wow. Wow. A joke so bad that it makes Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 look funny. And that's an accomplishment. Then they unleash Metal Sonichu. Oh, wait, what? What's the point of Black Sonichu if they already have an obedient robot duplicate? What's the point of going through all the cloning process and training him if they have a robot at their disposal? Why? What? Why? Oh my god, my head hurts. So Sonic and Metal Sonichu fight it out, and Sonic, who I guess breaks Sonichu out, well, whatever. Basically, they zap a fireball, but by the looks of it, it looks like Sonichu has an anus on his stomach. And they launch Metal Sonichu to the moon. Which, you're smart for guessing that that never comes back in the story. Like, ever. So Sonichu saves Rosachu, and they give their last regards to Nate Cirque, Giovanni, and Robotnik, who, if you've been paying attention, have been doing absolutely nothing for the past few pages. Well, Eggman, it looks like you've been licked again. And shocked, too. You all should have learned to never mess with true Poke-Love. Rosie, let's bolt. "Just a moment, sweet Bolt. Oh, Black Sonichu, this is for kidnapping me," she says as she casually beats the crap out of Black Sonichu's face. Then we get an epilogue showing Rosachu and Amy Rose meeting together, and Chris shows off how sexist he is by saying this. "Now, pardon me, they're going to girl talk for a couple of hours, and I'd like to save time and money on my car insurance by switching to Getco. Ha. Can't tell if Getco is supposed to be a parody of Geico or just another crappy misspelling. Well, no surprise here. This comic sucks. It has the exact same problems as the first issue. Bad artwork, bland characters, tons of misspellings, and lame humor all throughout. And it's sad to say that this is still Sonichu at its... God, I hate saying this. Best. Yeah. Well, until next time on Sonichu Time, I'm the Media Whiz, because wire form wasn't enough. My printer ran out of ink, so I couldn't print another copy. It's Sonichu Time yet again. Last time on Sonichu Time, Black Sonichu was created to kidnap Rosachu, and Sonic and Sonichu teamed up to save her from Giovanni and Robotnik. And now we've come to the adventures of Sonichu Issue 3. The comic begins with Sonichu running as he comes across a cave with a plaque on it. Only the creature and his master of the prophecy may enter the Destiny Cave. You see, this is why things have editors, so you can make sure that you don't make spelling mistakes. And this old man says that he's the guardian of the cave and how Sonichu and Chris are the chosen ones or some crap. So Chris and Sonichu decide to enter the cave, and the old man says, "Come, let's fulfill the prophecy." They go into the cave, as it turns out that as soon as they've entered the cave, some kind of ancient evil has been now released onto the world. So if the old man knew this, then why did he let them into the cave? If there was a cave that apparently opened some kind of evil when someone walked into it, I think I would stay away from that thing as far as I could. So what else does this cave hold aside from evil spirits? Medallions that carry magical powers. Chris puts one on, and he ends up in a void talking to his ancient ancestor, who's apparently a Native American Indian. Yes, because the white man from Virginia is clearly the descendant of an Indian. So the medallion's magic power gives Chris the ability to transform into his Sonichu. And as for the other two medallions, they're teleported on beams of light that kind of look like multicolored candy corn to two other people. Sarah Hammer and Wes Isley get their own medallions, talk to their own ancestors, and have their own transformation sequences. Also, Chris makes an ad for Axe body spray. "Wow, Sweet Bolt, you smell great. Did you bathe?" "No, I used the Orion scent." "Then can I orbit your belt?"
Sexually.
No, that's actually intentional. "Your training is complete, Wesley. Now, be gone and destroy Christian." "Okay, now to find that rival. Where is he?" So Wes doesn't even know the guy that he was even trained to kill? So Wes throws a fire starfish, and Sonichu gets Chris out of the way. On the next page, Wes turns into a planet by the looks of it, and Chris and Sonichu say this. "What the? Sonichu, run! You don't have to tell me twice, but during the Stone Age." Was that joke originally foreign and then he translated it into English and that's why it's so broken? So Chris and Wes talk for a little bit about how Wes was dating Sarah and how jealous Chris was, even though in real life they were just friends and nothing more. And apparently Wes takes the Cherokee crown, which gives him power of some sort. Oh, and this crown, that sounds like it'd be an important plot point, never addressed again. So Wes is about to fight, but Chris throws down a Yu-Gi-Oh card to trap him, and Sarah says, "He was jealous for me? That's so sweet." Replace sweet with creepy and So Chris retransforms, and Wes spits fire from his nose, until Sarah pins him against a tree with an arrow. I would say it's a ripoff of Hunger Games, but this came out before Hunger Games. So in episode 9, Sarah unpins Wes from the tree and breaks up with him, as Wes says, "I should leave you bound to that tree, but the three of us are destined to destroy the evil being that is lurking somewhere." Oh yeah, the prophesized evil. I wonder where it'll strike. Ow! I hurt in 3 places. So Sonichu says that there's a golem attacking the city. Why can't Sonichu fight the creature? I mean, he defeated the perfect chaos creature in issue 1. So Sarah uses her ability to use random powers whenever the story requires to put them into floating bubbles. On the next page, the city of Quickville. And I'm not finishing that sentence because I don't want to dignify such a terrible reference to the Powerpuff Girls, one of my favorite shows from my childhood. So Mary and her magical staff that houses an evil wizard named Groudon unleash a rock monster onto the city. "Oh no, that thing is huge. We have to bring it down, Chris. What, do you have any ideas?" "I think so. Sarah should shoot some arrows into its knees. Those things always have weak knees. Wes, you sneeze its fire at it. Let's... Oh, my heart has been broken, and I don't know what's going on. What's the point? Buck up. My heart was previously shattered too, and I'm not complaining. We have to destroy the monster before it destroys the city. Let's move." On the next page, they attack the rock monster with Chris Chan smoking a joint and Wes throwing fire bacon. They stop the bad guys, who then flee, and Chris says, "No use in chasing them now. We will meet again." Oh, well, okay. Let the villains flee. And if Morris and bystanders get hurt, that's not our fault. They transform into human again, and on the last page, Sarah says that she's officially dumped Wes and she's moved on to a new guy named William. Oh, wow, she found a new boyfriend that fast? Still better love story than Sonichu and Rosachu's love story. Well, once again, this comic sucked. The artwork is still childish, the story and dialogue are still absurd, and it just comes across as a huge vanity project. Episode 7 is completely stupid because, again, if a cave houses some kind of evil that when entered, why would you enter it? Episode 8 is dumb because it shows how much Chris knew nothing about Sarah and Wes, and Episode 9 is just a lame attempt at an action scene. Next time on Sonichu Time, we will delve into the backgrounds of the chaotic combo. Until then, I'm the Media Whiz, because warrant for him wasn't enough. Hiya. Oh crap. Now what just happened was the Media Whiz and the Pop Culture Whiz's Blasterizzer Phasomizer's beams finally connected and set off a chain reaction in their brains, showing off different possibilities in alternate universes that flash before their very eyes. But what flashes before their very eyes, you are about to see in full, showing off the alternate possibilities of the Media Whiz of alternate universes. The first of which is going to be that the Media Whiz takes on the life of one General Mills Vampire X, with his read and review Let's Play style series about comic books, creepypasta, fanfiction, and other such written media, with today's episode being about Sonichu issue 4. Well, if you like watching reviews, if you like comics, or you simply just hate Sonichu, this is the Tribute Zone.
Hello guys, and welcome back to Read and Review. Now, a lot of people said that I should cancel this series, but I decided to bring it back because, damn it, it's my channel, I can do whatever I want with it. So, yeah, Read and Review's back, and Sonic Stage will be out pretty soon. But as for today's Read and Review, we decided I'm going to take a break from All Hail Megatron, and decided we're going to go down another path. We're going to get back to that comic eventually, but for now, let's talk about Sonichu issue 4. Why issue 4? Because, well, I've read the other ones. I didn't make videos about them, but I haven't read issue 4 yet, so let's see how crappy it's going to be. So issue 4 has this horrendously drawn cover page with, we have this thing that looks like it's from Banjo and Kazooie, and we have the chaotic combo. Yeah, really. Okay, so let's move on. Episode 10, Sonichu Babies. Once upon a time, a powered-up hedgehog collided with a Pikachu, and a rainbow of Chaos Emerald energy stretched for miles across the land. From this rainbow, 5 mysterious eggs flew from it into locations around the region. Mysterious beams of light also shone from the rainbow, but anyway, one egg landed in a jungle, and it was founded by a mother Venusaur and a father Scyther. Another egg landed on a beach, founded by a mother Swampert. Another egg landed softly at a church stoop. It was founded by a couple nuns. Why nuns? I don't know. The other ones were Pokemon, so why is... whatever. It was founded by a couple nuns. Another egg landed in a dojo. Again, why couldn't that one be raised by Pokemon? I don't get it. And the last egg landed in a mountain by its lonesome. See, that one actually makes sense, because if it's gonna be by anything, if it's not going to be raised by Pokemon, I mean, why wasn't it raised by whatever? And the eggs, see how the eggs hatched and grew. See Premiere Issue 0. Why is it called Issue 0, not Issue 1? Well, anyway, for Sonichu's origins. Sony, is it related to the PlayStation? I'm funny. And Sony and Rosie say goo goo. Chris Chan right there says, cute intro, huh? No, not really. Just so you know, here is the original Sony and Rosie, Sonichu and Rosichu babies. Well, that's not how they looked in issue 1, so what the hell? Well, anyway, moving on. Wild Sonichu. Venu, Scyther, Scythe, Tap Tap. Sony. And you know what I'm going to say right now? This is probably the best page in Sonichu. I mean, that's not saying much, of course, but I mean, at least with this issue, or with this page rather, it actually shows character development without without any dialogue. Although there's one question I have. Why is it that when the Sonys first are born, they don't speak, but when they grow older they can speak? Is English a thing they learn? And if so, how come it's not able for other Pokemon? Well, whatever. I guess it's like with Meowth or something. Whatever. Moving on, we move on to the other crap. Eventually. Oh yeah, here we go. Whew. I'm a hedgehog, but... Wait, what? I'm a hedgehog, not a spider monkey. What? What does that have to do with anything? Whatever. Time for some cocoa soup. What? Why cocoa soup? Whatever. You think that's... What's that's? That's supposed to be that's. You think that's something? I can use my leafy tail as a propeller and can run really quick. So you're basically Tails? What? Whatever. Yeah. I also blend into any tree and can jump. I rule this jungle. Now I'm pretty sure lions rule the jungle, but whatever. Bubbles Rosichu. Great, now I'm starting to get flashbacks to one of my favorite shows of all time. And that's obviously Powerpuff Girls. There's nothing wrong with liking Powerpuff Girls. Alright. So, Rosie, it hatches Swamperts. ZZ. Why is it say, or... I know it's supposed to be that, but... Say? Really? Whatever. So, I'm assuming the thing drowns. Alright, and that has the greatest derp face right there. And it's next to, I guess that's a Porygon? It looks like you can tell I haven't really watched Pokemon in a while. That's the Swampert, never mind, I'm sorry. And a whale that, it looks like a minivan, that doesn't look like a whale. It looks like a very, very crushed up minivan. It looks like a minivan painted as a whale is what it looks like. But whale jumps out, a rock, I guess that's connected to the whale, falls on top of the Swampert, and the Rosichu goes, Rosie, Rose. So it goes swimming under the water, saves it, Rosie! It evolves pretty fast. Wait, okay, let's go back. Wilds was showing that he was growing as time went on, but this, she evolves that fast. What? I don't get it. Oh, whatever. Don't quit, mama. I got you. How is she your mama? Like, even in the context, you just met her. Now all of a sudden you connect to her as your mama figure? Whatever. Ice Beam, because the artwork is so terrible it literally needs to spell it out to you. So she saves the Swampert later. Swampert? How are you feeling, mama? Swampert. I nearly lost you as you sank to the ocean, but I saved you. My mama Swampert was excited after I rescued her. Now I freely swim the ocean that is my backyard. Well, wouldn't it be your home itself? Why is it specifically your backyard? I've found many new friends in the future, but I'll never forget what mama said. Swampert. No, I'm sorry. Apparently, this thing speaks English off screen. It says, stay strong and true to your heart, and you will prevail. Wow. Thank you for the obvious moral support, Mama Swampert. I am so happy, I think I'll make a seashell necklace. Yeah, you do that, whatever. Angelica Rosachu, great, Christians. First we had that Christy Ian creep, now we gotta deal with this. So egg lands, it's put on a pillow. Sister, our Lord blessed us with a young one from above. Yeah, because everyone knows Christians are that stupid. Personally, I like to think agnostics are better, but whatever. That's a personal thing. Yes, let's bring it and offer it as a sacrifice? Is this like one of those Elder Scroll games? Well, no, actually it's not. Let's bring it and offer our prayers to its health. It hatches apparently later. Rosie. It's praying. Why did they save the egg? Wouldn't it have hatched? Wouldn't that be a cue to get rid of it? Now it's reading I'm assuming that's the Bible. It's trying to fly. Keep trying, my child. The Lord has blessed you with wings, so one day you will fly to angelic heights. What do you think, you're Rainbow Dash? Easily Rainbow Dash's best pony. Not that there's anything wrong with being a brony, but, there is. But, whatever. That's another video for another time. So, she's lying in bed. It evolved. Again, how is it that she evolves that fast, and yet Wild was growing by months? Whatever. I think that pops up later, but we'll get to it. So, whoa, is she grabbing a boob? Whoa, what is that? And Chris comes in like a creeper, and he says, well, she was going to need those shoes and scrunchies. Wait, what? Well, she was going to need those shoes and scrunchie. Sleep well, Angel. Smiley face. What's with the constant smiley face and stuff on text? Whatever. Yeah, it's not like when I do it, it's better. So he leaves her a scrunchie, at least that's what I think it is, and shoes. And the next morning, she has some article of clothing. And when I say that, I mean the scrunchies and the shoes. Next morning. And I awoken anew. Well, Angelica, I knew the Lord would have a grand plan for you. Yeah, he would lead you to Sonichu. Yes, he gave you a great script to follow. Really? Because the script of this comic so far is sucking shit. And yes, I'm allowed to curse, because it's my videos, damn it. I am Angelica, humble servant of our Lord. Lord, alright? Having faith over time will reward you. Wait, what? Having faith over time will reward you very well. So keep your head held up high, height. There's a T in there, it's supposed to be high. And one day you shall be blessed with good health, true love, and pure happiness. Yeah, I'm not a Christian by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm pretty sure that's not what Christians believe. God, idiot Christians. Then, Punchy Sonichu. Nabi? I'm going with Nabi. Nabi's Dojo Shin. Excellent, my students. You will make Master GDW proud. Okay, so the egg, I guess, lands. Wait, what? Now we will perfect our chopping technique. You never know when you'll need to cut a movie. That's not funny. Now get like this and Nani. Oh. Master Nabe-san, your egg is shaking. I could comment, but no. Great XL Pome Saga. I'm assuming that's an anime. Sony. Okay, maybe it's just the way the page came out, but why does Punchy look like he's looks like he's like magenta color, not red? Because he's red on the cover. I'll show you. Look, see? Punchy's red. And then now he's like angelic, and his hand looks like a sausage. I'll accept your challenge, says this person. Because I, Maipo, calling myself Biyashiko, will not allow a grasshopper like you to hatch into my director's dojo shin so easily. What? I don't get it. Maipo, I'm only your father in the setup. Stay in character. Yeah, I'm the director of this anime, not Shinabe. Not Shinabe. What is his... Nabe? What's his name? And also, why does he have an afro? I'm funny. Well, anyway. That doesn't matter. I have to win this fight. Now, and my opponent does not need this weak point. Yeah. So this, I don't know if that's a boy or a girl. It looks like it's Pico from Boku no Pico, which is terrible, by the way. I'll get to it eventually. Rips off Punchy's tail, and now he evolves. That really? That really? Smash. Hurt! Sky uppercut. And, well, I'm going to assume that she's dead. Because he literally just punched her and sent her through the wall. So I'm pretty sure it's fair to say that she's dead. Wow, you are strong. I know what Maipo did was wrong, but if you will let me, I can teach you how to center that power into a much better, less painful looking style. I am Punchy, Strike Ninja. I studied under GDW Shinabe. Shinabe, whatever. And I became the greatest fighter since Goku. Hey, no one's better than Goku. I'm saying that right now. No one's better than Goku. I also learned to keep my temper down by watching TV comedies. Ha ha, they're so funny. Yeah, and look at that design. That's totally not both racist and a ripoff. Wow. Yeah. Now we get to Maja-chan, Sonichu. At a mysterious mountain, it shows the mountainside. Gotta clear my throat. It's cramped in here, so he hatches out of the egg. Wait a minute. Wow, I just realized something. Why is it that this creature has the ability to speak English? Well, that's a thought bubble, but he's able to think thoughts in English, but the other ones were speaking in Sone and Rosie or whatever. So, Mewtwo, yes, Mewtwo is now here. Wow, you're not alone. Wow, where am I? Am I alone? Well, he just said that. It's hard to really follow these thought bubbles because they really don't make any sense in the way they're formatted. I will be your mentor while you grow. I am telepathing. Wow, that's great grammar. I am telepathing with you from a grand city. Yeah, and I'm reviewing on a grand internets. Wow. You are in a cave northwest of here where I am temporarily resided. Who are you? Where are you? What is this place? It's a cave. Oh, duh. I mean, even when you're in a cave, you should be able to know. I've noticed you had psychic abilities like me. I only wish I could. I only wish to teach you how. It's teach you! How do you. There's a T in there! Really? Use your powers properly. And when, there's an H in there, when I have finished teaching, you remember teaching in there, you will go out into the world and seek your destiny. What do you want? Forget it. Alright, so lots of text, probably gonna skip this. So it shows progression of Maja-chan. He grows older again, even though Wilds was showing, several years go by, and him 2 weeks. So 2 weeks later, he's finally fully grown, and he's all like, thank you, master. He's all, perfectly trained and everything. Well, screw it, forget all that. Episode 11, the chaotic combo. Yeah, there's kind of two issues in this comic, because that's how. Or technically 2 episodes, but usually as comics should be formatted, they should be put 1 episode per comic. So now, episode 11, the chaotic combo in When Hedgehogs Meet. Hello, I'm Flame the Sunbird. No, you look like you're Kazooie. I'm sorry, everyone's made that reference, but hey, at least it's not as bad as MediaWiz's videos, where he rips off Nostalgia Critic. I am not a Pokemon, nor am I related to one, so why are you here? I am the protector of the legendary Master Sunstone. The Master Sunstone controls how everything in the world grows. As long as it remains on this island's monument, everything will grow as Norma. There's supposed to be an L there. Norma. But if it was to fall into the wrong hands, like it presumably is, everything would fall into chaos. So it would be ruled by Eris? Yeah, reference to Greek mythology, because that's the way I roll. Humans would grow extra body parts or lose them. Trees, or Tress McNeil, the voice actress, anybody? I don't know. Tress would grow legs and walk around the earth in anger. Why would trees be angry? Well, then again, Wizard of Oz, but Wizard of Oz sucks. It's my opinion. Wizard of Oz was overrated, okay? It was terribly overrated. But I, Flame, make sure that the Master Sunstone stays in place together to ensure proper growth that makes it very powerful. Okay, whatever. Man, it gets lonely here, and I could use pants. That's not funny. So, helicopter, Black Sonichu, totally not racist. And he's talking with Giovanni, who has an epic derp face, and he says, let's go over the mission once more. Black Sonichu, you will swoop down there onto the island, get the stone, and bring it to me. I got it, boss. I won't fail you. You will use the hoverboard and glide down to the ocean at top velocity. It will be be careful with the stone. I will use it to get power. I will use its power to make my Pokemon stronger and make them grow. It will grow strong. With our big, strong Pokemon, I'll rule the world. Ha ha ha. You got that. Wait, so you're basically going to take a thing that will give you extra power, endanger all of the world, and probably kill everybody in the process just to make your Pokemon stronger? You realize they'll probably kill you in the process, buddy. Giovanni wasn't this stupid in the anime. So, swoosh, he shows up. Are you Canadian? Hey. What's up, Doc? That's still not funny. Where do you think you're going with my stone? No comment. None of your birds wax. See ya. Birds really don't have wax. Unless you're talking about bird shit. It would have been really funny, though, if he said shit, because cursing makes everything funnier. Hey, you! Get back here with the Sunstone! Okay, I actually missed this page. So, on the Sonichu.com, or Wikipedia, or whatever we're calling it, I forgot to get these pages, because I forgot to put them into the paging thing. But, if you'll notice, these pages that are supposed to be right here, they show this whole thing of the bird going after the thing, Black Sonichu speeds past them, they all end up meeting together, and then that gets us to this page. So to speed everything up, goes past Wild ends up going to bump into Water One, whatever, and then Angelica goes flying by, and then she swoops down to save Punchy, who gets hit, and blah blah blah. Okay, we're all caught up. Now let's get back to the comic. Hey, are you okay? I think so. Thank the Lord. This is gonna get annoying. I hate Christians. Oh, wait, I forgot to zoom the thing out. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah. Wow, pretty flowers. What are you talking about? She doesn't have flowers. Thank you. You should see them from above. Wow, how would that make them prettier? So, these two, and what is Flame doing? I'm just gonna point that out. I guess he's panting, but it looks like he's doing something wrong. It looks like he has, again, derp face. It looks like he has a derp face. And these two meet up with these guys. So then we have a new page. Oh man, more hedgehog Pokemon like me? I can't believe it. Wow. I'm not the only one around here. I wanted some friends, but I didn't expect this much. Didn't you said you already have friends? Whatever. Am I seeing triple? It's like I'm in a funhouse mirror room. Not really, because they don't all look the same. Bless this day, more hedgehog Pokemon. Well, if you're so happy, why do you have a frown on your face? Bubbles, that's her name, Bubbles. Bubbles says, why isn't anyone speaking? Well, I guess I'll break the ice. Hello there, it's very nice to meet you all. My name is Bubbles. You can call me Punchy. I am delighted. My name's Angelica, and I'm wild. So I was following this black guy on a board. That's racist. I'm gonna say that right now. No, racism is never funny, unless it's Rucka Rucka Ali or South Park. They're able to do it right. But anyway, he shows up again. Why is it humph? Why isn't it hum? Whatever. It seems my electric hedgehog group has just got together, and as they chatter away, Black Sonichu is getting away with Flame Sunstone. If you know all of this, and you have telepathy or whatever, telepathy, if we're going to go off of this, why don't you just use your psychic powers to stop him right now? What? Whatever. So, fortunately, I can see the original one crossing paths ahead, and detaining him. I must meet my group and teleport them to the Black One's location. Really? What's with the racism? Sigh. Okay, I'm off. Alright, whatever, pal. So he flies away. We see Sonichu running. Meanwhile, so I heard through the grapevine that Black Sonichu was stealing a powerful stone. Where did you hear that? Where? What is this grapevine you're talking about? Where? I know it's a metaphor, but where did you hear that? Where? I couldn't help but rush into intercept him and return it to where it came from. So he's running. Man, too many obstacles. I'm so glad to return back to Giovanni's lair, which earlier in the comic, in issue 2, I believe, his lair was supposed to be some kind of gym. It was his gym from the anime. But why does it look like it's a castle now? Where did they get that? Alright. Blah, blah, blah text. They're talking. They have banter. They're not funny. Blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. He shows up in front of all of them. Right, teleport. Yeah, whatever. What? My cavalry. It's cavalry, you idiot. Hail, hail, the gang's all here. Oh, wow, way to reference a good song and ruin it. What the hey do I care? What the hey do I care? Lame. Yeah, that sums up this comic. Lame. I'm still gonna take you all down one by one. Yeah, I doubt that. So, blah, blah, blah. The fight scene engages. Dig Part 2. Why do these fights have parts to them? Wing Attack, Mega Punch, Psychic, which does that. Teleport it, puts him in a bubble, I guess, like Incredibles, which that movie's overrated again. That movie sucked. It's overrated, seriously. Why can't people appreciate movies like Cars? It wasn't that bad. Double Slap, yeah, because so far the only female character's power is to slap, even though the guys get the cool parts. Oh no, then this clusterfuck of shit happens right here. Yeah. Alright, high score, 500,000. Why? Whatever. And I'm pretty sure Black Sonichu's dead, because that looks like blood. That seriously does look like blood. We did it! Black Sonichu is temporarily paralyzed, and Flame got the Sunstone. What are we now? You're Sonichus, idiots. Winners! Oh, what are we now? Winners! Thank you for summing that up. And again, he looks like he's dead. They say he's paralyzed, but that looks like brain matter right there. So that's the end of Sonichu issue 4, and I'm glad it's finally over. So until next time, we'll get back to All Hail Megatron, but that'll probably be up in a month. But until then, don't forget to like, comment, and share. And until then, have a nice day.
Sonichu time, yet again, issue 5. This issue brings up a new story arc that will be plaguing the rest of the Sonichu series, the focus being switched over from Sonichu to Chris. One thing I didn't talk about with the other reviews are the sub-episodes, short stories starring Chris that appear at the end of every episode. The reason I didn't talk about them is because this issue is filled with every single one of them. With all that out of the way, let's look at Chris's adventures in Sonichu issue 5. The cover shows Chris walking down a dark street with bruises on his face, with the heads of the villains mocking him. The first story is Jerk-Op-Tastrophe, with Chris hanging out at the mall and talking to himself about how he can't get a girlfriend. And then this guy, the Jerk-Op...
It's a pun. Get it?
Well, let's just actually read the dialogue. You just have to hear this. And those evil jerk-ops won't leave me alone either. I'm just a lonely, frustrated virgin looking for true love. Hey, I'm calling you out. Huh? I'm so sick of your complaints and tears, on and on about how lonely you are and how you need a girlfriend. You're nothing but a lowly liar, you solicitor. Shock. How dare you, you jerk! I'm only looking for true love and trust. So just leave me alone, you villainous jerk-op. Well, anyway, Chris transforms into a Sonichu form, and him and the head jerk-op have a fight scene. Give up now! Leave me alone and we can end this battle! No way, I'm not done with you yet. Bang. Barrier. Fuzzy Wuzzies get you hugs, Prickly Wicklies give you slugs. You gave me a slug, so now time for my secret ultimate attack. So Chris shoots piss and ecto-cooler, I guess, out of his hands at the jerk-op, and apparently it curses the jerk-op to have eternal bad luck, including tripping, breaking his glasses, and his wife leaving him. I offer you a question. Is it worse to lose a fist fight, or is it worse to get eternal bad luck? I'd like to see what you guys answer. In the second story, The Rise and Fall of My Heart, this one begins with Chris at the mall trying to get a date, as this girl Hannah asks if he'd like to go to Starbucks with her. Chris responds with, "My love quest is finally over!" Just calm down, it's just an afternoon at Starbucks. Anyway, they go on a date, if you can call it that, and Rosachu eavesdrops and finds out that Hannah was actually dating Chris just to pull a joke on him and wasn't really romantically in love with him. And he goes to confront her. "Hannah? Huh? Yes? I've just heard from a friend that you were pranking me. Please say it ain't so. Come on, didn't you find me a bit interesting? Didn't you care a bit about me? Didn't our mini-date mean anything to you? Didn't you want to see me most often?" "No, I'm afraid that it's true. My friends just want me to play around with you. They thought it would be funny. Please pardon me a moment." Episode 3, Witch Confront, involves just another lame fight scene between Chris, Sonichu, and Mary Lee Walsh. There's really nothing to comment on, so skip. Episode 4, Mech Attack, has Chris at Malwart, oh gee, I wonder what they're lampooning, hanging out as the jerk-off from episode 1 comes back with backup. And out of nowhere, we get a new character called Darkbind Sonichu, who, and I'm not making this up, is a cross between Link and Darkwing Duck.
Dude, I totally want to get on this too. Alright, so I have an idea for a new Sonichu character. He's a cross between Mario and Optimus Prime. We can call him Mariowitz Primachu.
So they engage in yet another lame fight scene. Chris rips off my Python and the Holy Grail. They beat the jerk-offs, and Chris gives us yet another long-winded speech. Now, as for you two mana jerks, the pain that you both are feeling now should be punishment enough for going against me in my quest for a boyfriend-free girl to love and trust. I do not care about your rules, either of you, or any male other than my father and myself. But let me make it perfectly clear that in my quest, it is very hard for me to find a girl due to the high boyfriend factor, and due to not wanting to risk getting punched in the face from a jerk. Also, since the ladies are unable to notice my person because they mostly have shopping on their minds, I have to loudly spell it out. So please, just leave me alone with my love quest. But this one ends with a cliffhanger, which is immediately jumped into as we enter episode 5, Mech Attack Part 2, where Chris faces off against this android guy with a human head a la Futurama, and Chris, somehow, with the power of the Cherokee ancestor he has, gives him the ability to grow like Wild Sonichu. When did Wild Sonichu have growth powers? Are you just making stuff up and just putting it in the story with no explanation? Not only that, but he also summons Crystal, Chris's fictional sister he created for the comic.
Yes. He has an imaginary twin sister that he created. Yeah.
But Chris goes Sonichu form again, and she turns into a Sailor Moon knockoff, and they knock the head off the android guy, and he goes flying all the way to Walsh's lair. Episode 6 is basically telling us how stupid jerk-offs are, along with a story that Chris faced off against one of them, yet again. And the cops get distracted with how, and I'm not making this up, hot Chris's sister is.
Now, that is a very pathetic weakness, especially considering the fact that she's really nothing special to look at.
And then, well, I have to read this too. You just have to hear it. Now, with my psychic powers, I was ready. First, I took control of their weapons, opened a dimension hole, and levitated the weapons into the hole. Once I was assured that all their weapons had entered, I slammed the hole shut. Those less than 2-bit jerk-offs were still drooling over my sister, not realizing the sitch. So Chris apparently can hone the abilities of the other Sonichus, this time getting Magichan's telepathy abilities.
So apparently Chris has the ability to gain abilities whenever it's convenient.
So Chris, using the telepathy, ends up taking the head jerk-off and slamming him into the other ones like a bowling ball into pins.
Ha!
Episode 7 brings us a straight reuse of one of the bonus comics from issue 1.
Okay, what was it I said in my Rainbow Rocks review?
That's friggin' lazy. And...
Wait, I want to guess this one. Let me guess. Chris goes to the mall, the jerk-offs show up, and they have a lame fight scene, am I right?
Of course! But this time we get a new character, Daggett, who unleashes a transformer on Chris.
Because they have those now.
They kidnap Chris to take him to Walsh, but Crystal notices this and goes off to save Chris. Chris is held over a bubbling pot of hot water. As Crystal saves him, they blow up Walsh's HQ, and it just stops. It doesn't end, it just kind of stops.
That was Sonichu issue 5. It sucked, to no one's surprise.
The art is still same for Sonichu standards, but this one begins one of the most painful parts of the Sonichu series, where the stories focus more on Chris's real life than Sonichu, which isn't interesting or even worthy caring about reading. And all the stories just come off as repetitive and come down to the same format of Chris goes to mall, jerk-offs show up, and then they fight. But as bad as this issue was, this is just the beginning of the crap. We have yet to hit the worst. I'm the media whiz, because one art form wasn't enough. Sonichu time, yet again. The last issues introduced Chris becoming the new main character, which, while not prominent as issue 5, is still very much in this issue. But this is going to be a long one, so grab some snacks, grab some drinks, and get ready to laugh, because this is Sonichu, issue 6. The cover shows Sonichu fighting a 50-foot Mary Lee Walsh as Chris is trapped in a picture frame with Mickey Mouse ears. Wait, did D-Sex and Corrupted Gaming already do that joke? Anyway, we see a wedding where Sarah, yeah, remember her, is getting married to some guy named Jack. And at the wedding, Chris is invisible, and going off of the next page, the rest of the crowd are Oompa Loompas dressed as bedsheet ghosts. Wes Lee is looking in on the church as he says, "If I can't have her, I'll play magic." On the next page, Chris says, "It's too bad that I can't stay to catch the bouquet." Traditionally, it's the brides that catch the bouquet. Chris goes on about how he found a new girlfriend who is a, quote, sailor soldier, which technically he means sailor scout, but whatever. Then Chris has a hallucination of Jack being assassinated and Sarah getting kidnapped by Wes, and Chris pulls out his Yu-Gi-Oh card deck. But Wes intervenes the wedding and kidnaps Sarah. "Da dame comes with me," says Wes as he looks like he's growing bigger. And Chris says, "Okay, who played the Megamorph?" Wait, there actually is an explanation for that? Okay, whatever. Anyway, they engage in a chase scene with confusing as hell dialogue. "Hey Wes, Apple Core, Baltimore, who's your friend?" "Me." But the fight is broken up by new characters, Meg-chan and... I'm just gonna call her not Fifi LaFume, okay? So Meg-chan fights Wes with some kind of guitar attack. Okay, seriously, the only way that she would win that is if she had the pick of Destiny. And Chris stops him with some Yu-Gi-Oh crap or whatever, and Chris and Sarah head back to the chapel, and in this monologue, Chris catches the bouquet. That's for the brides, whatever, I don't care. So with all that crap out of the way, we can begin the story proper. The story begins with lovers being bothered by jerk-offs, and where are Chris and Sonichu? The mall. Wow, this is the laziest mayor ever. All he does is just hang out at the mall. Well, Sonichu, I've been feeling a lot better since I first met Megan. She's the sweetest, and she has the right spunk amount among all ladies.
Sexual innuendo.
Alright, we rockin' in with the best of light rock and anime hits here at Station K Quick, Quickville's #1 radio station. You're keeping it real with jams to Sonichu. Yowza! I've just been handed an urgent bulletin. Apparently a jerk-off squad has been harassing loving couples around the city. The true men and women of blue and black can't keep up with these minions of the dirtiest witch of PVC citizens, Mary Lee Walsh. We could really use the help from my main dudes Christian Chandler and Sonichu about now. More news after this groove track from Monica Real. So Chris learns about the city being attacked by some force, and of course, it's Mary Lee Walsh. And Chris pulls out a Nintendo DS, which apparently has not only online connection, but can track villains. Wait, why was it that the radio had to inform them and not the Nintendo DS? Meanwhile, Mary Lee Walsh has her plan all laid out. Chris steps onto a rectangle, and he will fall into a trap. This plan is so stupid, and considering how dumb Chris is, you know it's actually going to work. So Chris summons everybody and wastes a good 5 pages to get the team assembled. So they're attacked by a rip-off chef from South Park, who's apparently a robot because he can just unscrew his head and he's down like that. Huh. Well, that was a weak obstacle. Seriously, that went down so easily. But Meg-chan comes back, they reuse the introduction page from the first part of the comic, and Chris is about to take out Walsh as he steps into the trap. Called it. Meanwhile, we cut back to Nate Cirque, yeah, again, remember him, as he apparently is getting taken over by some kind of black shoe medallion. Don't worry, that's gonna get explained soon. But Crystal gets sucked into the trap, saving Chris, but trapping herself inside the mirror thing on the cover. With that, Meg-chan cries to Chris. "Christian, oh, I thought I was gonna lose you. I'd feel terrible if I lost my friend who I really like. I'm also sad that your sister fell in and I couldn't save her." Sob. It's not your fault. You don't have to fret. We'll get Crystal back. I'm just glad that you're safe. You are the sweetest girl I know. I'd hate to lose you too. Dude, I think your sister's life comes before your love life, okay? You may have taken down my squadron, but I had your sister, mister. Ha ha ha.
To be continued. Right now!
And we're now at the official halfway mark of the comic. Now to explain a little bit of something. This review is actually going to cover what is technically the next issue of Sonichu, but seeing how it's a direct follow-up of what just happened in this issue, I'd actually like to count this as part of issue 6 and count it as one big comic, because issue 7 focuses on a completely different story entirely. So, you got that? Good. Let's continue. So we get another cover page, this time showing the new character, Patty the dog. Patty is introduced in a sub-episode of this issue, showing Chris's dog, Patty, turned into a cartoon. So this comic now operates on Cool World logic? Because if you've seen Cool World, that's not a good thing. And now Chris teleports her to Quickville. So Quickville is actually an alternate dimension. Oh my god, this is Cool World logic. And Patty becomes an official member of the main cast. So back in the actual story, Merrily Walsh says this. Christian, if you ever want your sister back, you and your crew will bow down to me and surrender your hearts and souls upon my clutches. Ha ha ha. And she's quickly taken out by Patty, Darkbind, and Meg-chan.
Anyway, the gang heads back to HQ, which they just sort of have now. Seriously, where'd that even come from? And they talk about useless crap that we don't care about, like
Wild Gang kicked off a basketball team, Punchy wanting a girlfriend, and Patty talking about how great of a guy Chris is.
Once again, Chris wrote this. Not like you can't tell or anything, I just thought I'd point it out.
So Magi-chan comes in, and they come to the conclusion that they need all the Sonichu Pokeballs to get Crystal out of the mirror thingy. And we get possibly the greatest line in Sonichu. Darkbind says, "My 2 balls!" Anyway, in the mall, this guy is stealing a Sonichu Pokeball, and Blackchu is there too. Sonichu, Magi-chan, and Chris go to confront this guy, but the new Sonichu entraps Chris in the purple void of space and time or some crap. If you recall, the ancient prophecy from where you got your powers, if the metal was plunged into darkness, even just for a few minutes, upon one who looked very similar to you and has your first name spelled in reverse, the Dark Sonichu Medallion would be created. The victim would have the sleeping evil within awakened and emerge.
Okay, first of all, this was not brought up in the ancient prophecy whatsoever. Secondly, person's name spelled backwards? Well, obviously it's gotta be Natesurk, because obviously Natesurk isn't a real name.
Anyway, outside the void, Sonichu, Magi-chan, and Blackchu come to a truce. Oh, and Blackchu officially renames himself Blake. And he has a crush on Bubbles.
That's sadly going to be brought up in a later issue.
Anyway, Chris and Natesurk turn into their Sonichu forms, and oh my god, that is the ugliest page I've ever seen. I can't even look at this. Oh my god, move on, next page. Anyway, they end up at a basketball court, and Natesurk is about to finish Chris off, and then he gets hit in the head with a basketball.
He has shape-shifting powers and super speed, and a basketball to the head is what stops him.
Lame!
And as Megan comes to Chris's aid, who threw the basketball, you ask? Bionic, Chris's first official Sonic recolor, even before Sonichu.
I know what you're thinking. How does Bionic have any connection to the Sonichu Rainbow Chaotic Combo thingy? Well, the answer is that he doesn't, and he's just there. Yeah, use the clip from the Rainbow Rocks review again. That's friggin' lazy.
So that was Sonichu issue 6. Now, I will give it this, that's slightly better than the other issues, but it's still Sonichu, so I still gotta say it sucks. The artwork in this one is mediocre at best. The story is just a complete incoherent mess, despite the fact that this one actually has a continuing story, which I'll give it some props on, I guess. And overall, the overall story is just confusing. I mean, we jumped from Merrily Walsh taking over everything, to all of a sudden the new main antagonist goes back to being Natesurk. Who is the main villain of this series anyway? There's too many characters to even keep up with.
But keep in mind, just like issue 5, this is just the beginning of the end. We are not even at rock bottom yet of this comic. Well, until then, I'm the Media Whiz, because Warrant Form wasn't enough. Where the hell am I? You are in a subconscious limbo. It's not heaven, nor is it hell, but it's a dimension filled with nothing but vacant emptiness, and it's where most failed beings tend to go. Who the hell are you? Who am I? Who am I? I am the Media Wiz's inner Chris Chan. Sonichu time. This time, it's issue 7. This issue brings up something that a lot of people have actually been complaining about since issue 5 on. Chris's involvement in the comic. You'll see what I mean near the end of it.
So this is Sonichu issue 7. Let's just get it over with.
So, on the cover, Magi-Chan is holding the Sonichu balls with a time vortex behind him with the memories of Chris. And this cover, to its credit, is not that bad. Anyway, taking place after the events of the last issue, Meg and Chris are talking to Bionic and how he talks about how he's now dating the Fifi LaFume ripoff.
When did that happen? Who knows? Who cares?
Hey B-Hog, are you ready for some paintball and love potion? I'm bearing for a big mess.
Sexual innuendo.
Feels good to use that clip again.
Anyway, Chris and Megan meet up with Sonichu and Magi-Chan, who come to the conclusion that one of the Sonichu balls went back in time.
How did we get to that point? How did they find that out? Can we please see that part of the story? No? Okay then.
That's it! Approximately November 13th, 1996, during a scheduled basketball practice at 2:31:29 p.m., the crystal bonked Christian Weston Chandler on his head. At that exact moment, that locker slammed open in his imagination.
Is it really approximately, or approximately, if you actually have the time down to the seconds?
That's crazy. At best, that's only a random access guess. Actually, he is correct. I remember being struck on my old bean as I imagined Mighty reclining against the locker as the situation was read from a Fear Street novel from my favorite author, R.L. Stine. At this moment, at random, that locker door slammed open, and Bionic the Hedgehog entered my world. I had thought it was a mistakenly thrown basketball. This corrects that theory. I feel as silly as the time that I temporarily gained weight, became stupid, and went to watch television at Ghost Command. Seth MacFarlane. Here is a silly sketch idea for a Family Guy episode I fully approve for you to use as you see fit. And so we get Peter from Family Guy dressed up as Chris working at Ghost Command.
I feel the need to point out that the Ghostbusters that's being referenced is actually not the classic comedy Ghostbusters, but rather the Filmation's animated series. Yeah.
And after whatever that was, they engage to travel back in time. And Chris now has glasses for some reason.
Man, that would be as stupid as every time you cut back to me I'm wearing a different hat. That would just be stupid.
So, playing off of Futurama once again, they travel back to the past, to the year 1996. Past Chris talks with his friend Joe, who talks about how he went on a date last night and it didn't go so well, saying that the date ended in spilled soup and tossed salad.
Sexual
No, we only use that clip once an episode.
Then we get a really confusing page showing, I guess, Chris's imagination coming up with Bionic for the first time as he gets hit with the Sonichu ball. And then Beavis and Butthead. Because why not? Anyway, they fly back in time and Chris goes flying out into the time void. And after that, Sonichu and Magi-Chan talk for a while until the two dummies finally realize, hey, where's Chris? As Magi-Chan comes to the conclusion that Chris is now stuck in a time void.
Chris is lucky this doesn't operate on Doctor Who logic, because if that's the case, he would fly out into the time void and he would disintegrate.
Then we see Sonichu and Rosachu on a date, talking about how sad it is that Chris is gone. Well, at least his secretary, Allison, can handle the city decisions, but I just don't know how his family will cope with the pain and temporary loss. And I worry how our defense forces can deal with the possible invasions of our number of villains.
Again, I'm pretty sure that the talking electric hedgehog Pokemon will be able to take on any villain that comes to fight.
Let's go back to our place and do our thing. Ooh, I love you, Rosachu, and your seductive ways. You are the woman. We got to stop by Walmart and get us a raincoat. The weather's just right.
Yeah, that's what I meant when we were saying that we were getting to the worst of this comic. But thankfully, that's next time. Thank God that's next time.
Meanwhile, at PVCC, we see this guy, Scott Palazzo, who was briefly introduced in Quick's Love Quest, and then a bunch of other stock villains, some of which who haven't been introduced yet, others who've only appeared once. And then we see Mary Lee Walsh, who has a watermelon chest for some reason, and tells them how they're going to take over Quickville, and Chris is out of the picture, and all that other crap. And we end with Chris blowing through the time void and being haunted by his past memories.
So that was Sonichu issue 7, and man was it something.
Time travel is very confusing to write about, but Chris made it even somehow more impossible to follow. I don't get it. I mean, how did the Sonichu ball go back in time? How did Magi-Chan come to that conclusion? And overall, this issue gets one thing accomplished in that it takes Chris out of the story, so that's kind of a plus. But with all that said, we'll see that why, with or without Chris in the story, this comic is still going to suck. Look forward to that next time. Next time on Sonichu Time, we get to see the worst of this comic. Let that sink in. I'm the Media Whiz, because 1 out 4 wasn't enough. I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. I mean, we've sent him 3 crappy movies and a Sonichu comic, and he still hasn't cracked. Well, don't worry. With this mental keyboard, we'll be able to go into his mind and we'll be able to send him visual messages. Holy crap, we can do that? Yeah, and if one of us could actually find a way to actually do this, we might be able to actually, physically, film ourselves and communicate to him mentally. Hopefully he will be able to see us, so we can officially know that we're still here and we're coming for him. Wiz, you had to have known this was going to happen at some time. Yeah, but I wanted to prolong the inevitable. I didn't know we were going to get there this fast. Sorry, Wiz, but as a critic, it's your job. Wait, I know a loophole around this. We can make this a crossover. I can make some other geek suffer with me.
Wiz? I don't review webcomics. However, if it was something Ghost Rider related, I'd probably do a vlog about it within the next couple years.
Yeah, you see, I would, but I've actually retired from reviewing because I wanted to start a Magnum tasting business.
Sonichu issue 8? Okay, I've reviewed a lot of weird porn comics on my show, but Sonichu porn, that's where I draw the line, buddy.
You know I'm a Let's Player, right? Look, I do... Wait. You said Sonichu. You are so screwed! No! This call's over.
Damn it. Look, Wiz, how about this? You can just do a Cinema Snob parody, just like you did with the Hot Sauce fan fiction, okay? Yeah, might as well. I've read some bad comics in my time, and Hot Sauce has screwed a few fillies. But I have seriously been shot first into critic hell with this one. This is Sonichu issue 8. The cover shows us a group of Rosachus in bikinis running towards the beach. It's funny that I'm reviewing this comic in August, because in about a month or so, swimming is going to be done for the rest of the entire year. The comic proper begins with the outside of the Sonichu house, and we see... Let that sink in, people. These two are about to engage in what Borat calls the sexy time. Then the comic turns into a sex ed comic. Hey, remember when this comic was about Sonic the Hedgehog and Pokemon-style adventures? Oh, but are you ready for what's on the next page? I'm certainly not, but they're gonna show it anyway. Just show it. Yep, we get at least a good 5 pages of these two mating in disgusting detail. But since I love my viewers, we are thankfully going to be skipping all 5 pages, okay? Okay. The next day, Sonichu cuddles Rosachu as she's on the computer and comes across a parody website of 4chan called 4cent Garbage, discovering a bunch of dirty fan art of them. This comic just became surprisingly meta. Rosachu thinks to herself, thank God for blessing me a healthy set of woman parts, as Sonichu pukes at the sight of the pictures. Join the club, Buster Brown. And Sonichu lies down as Rosachu decides the best way to take down this website is by taking her own pictures of her nudes. Oh yeah, that's certainly a brilliant idea. Almost as brilliant as fighting fire with a flamethrower. And we get at least a good 2 pages of this. Note to self, tonight take a giant shot of brain bleach. So Rosachu sees the pics aren't getting as much attention as she decides that Sonichu Wild and herself will go down to 4cent Garbage and talk to the manager. Also, she talks about how her, Bubbles, and Angelica will take nudes that night. Oh yeah, that's certainly a brilliant idea. Rope other people into your situation. Brilliant. So at the building, they discuss about how to find the magic Sonichu ball. Oh yeah, that was a thing, wasn't it? And then Gilligan's Island reference. Because screw you, that's why. And then Wild goes on this huge tangent about how his dad was kidnapped and how he learned stealth from him or some crap, which is really contradicted because the next page he says he learned it from a passing Porygon. So Sonichu and Rosachu go inside the building, which they describe as looking like the inside of a volcano, and Satan, in jean shorts, is the secretary of the place. I don't know about you guys, but I've just decided to let the entire insanity of the comic run itself. It's the safest thing to do. So Sonichu asks what floor the boss is on, and Satan responds with floor 66 plus 6. Ha! Kid you not, when Rosachu and Sonichu get to the elevator, and Sonichu is upset that Satan didn't look at him, Rosachu calms him down by quoting gospel. In case you haven't been paying attention, we have gone from this to this. How did we get here? As these two ride the elevator, Wild jumps around the walls invisibly as the bottom of the page proclaims that the Pink Panther theme is apparently playing. Screw it, I'm gonna play this instead. So now we get the biggest mind of all time. On the first few floors, we get a couple dudes at computers drunk or having hangovers. On the third floor, we get Pedo Bear hanging around the Powerpuff Girls. On the fourth floor, we get a stamp. On the 7th to 9th floor, we get these two beating up people looking up pictures of them. And then on floor 10, confusingly enough, Chris pops up out of nowhere to punch this guy for looking at parody pictures of him. Yes, Chris, who is currently stuck in the time void, has decided to make a cameo. Then we get Dark Magician Girl Rule 34, a Charmeleon-looking seductive, some Snake Woman, Transformers porn, Sonic and Amy Rose making out, Sonic porn, a card game card, and, I kid you not, Obama painting the White House black as he's pushed down by Bush Jr. Yeah, Chris is really no Key and Peele or Rucka Rucka Ali when it comes to making Obama jokes. And then... I'm Batman. Okay, I'm sorry about that. My mind just has this weird process where it has to comprehend crap like that. Moving on. And on floor 69, we see an anime girl built out of Xbox 360 parts, followed by a picture of an Xbox with an axe in it. So it seems that Chris Chan doesn't like the Xbox because it never called him back. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're about to.
I got a goddamn motherfucking cis-stage with 4-inch diameter balls.
As for Wild, he seems to have found the Sonichu ball.
That was easy.
As for Sonichu and Rosachu, they finally meet up with this Jason guy who is dressed like the Grim Reaper. And then, for you are not just dragging Christian Weston Chandler's name through the mud, you also drag the American hopes and dreams and ideas of the majority of these great, humble United States of America along with him. You've had your laughs, but I ask you, is it really worth to continue on with these slanders that drag the names of good people within this country that have been founded with love and peace within that those before you have fought valiantly to withhold, that I was born and raised under the glory of this red, white, and blue. Okay, I'm sorry, but what does this webcomic have to do with America again? But Jason really is enthused by any of this, and as Sonichu charges him, he pulls a Sith chokehold on him. I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to enjoy this comic now. But Rosachu catches him, and they begin to leave. So they show up to his office, ask him nicely, then threaten him, and then they just decide to leave? So they prepare to leave, but Jason rubs it in by throwing a pickle at the back of Rosachu's head, which she squishes in her fist. And then... People, if you thought the climax to Twy and Me was hilariously bad, just get a load of this. She undresses, and then goes on this huge montage, and I quote,
I am the power. I am the warrior.
A window curtains look best at 4 print, and at WrestleMania, you are going to need an energon tube the size of Wyoming to defeat my Autobot Hulk Hogan.
I am the almighty woman. True to all my gender, I will overpower any evil and good or good man who defies us, and make him succumb to our will. I have the almighty Eurus. That makes me strong and super powerful enough to protect the loved ones within me until they emerge from the glorious birth. But my ferocious will, I shall punish he who has defiled my people with the worst unnatural addition ever by this one's heinous hand. I am woman.
I am a man.
So am I.
Gotcha. Pansy power! Hear me roar!
And then she takes Jason's face and shoves it into her Holy of Holies. Okay, I'll be right back if you need me. I'm gonna go stick a match in my ear to try and forget that scene ever happened. There goes my high school education. There goes the number 5. There goes my name. And there goes that scene. Okay. I'm back. So Wild swings around, completely visible where people can see him. They all meet up, and Magi-Chan teleports them back to Quickville. As they arrive, Wild and Patty put the ball into storage as Wild says, "Legend of the Crystals, hear my call. Reveal your power through my arms' hallowed halls." Meanwhile, the Rosachus gathered to take nudes for women's rights. As we're joined by 2 new characters who, you guessed it, came straight out of nowhere! 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 And we officially end with Rosachu saying, "For our rights as women among all people, I will overpower those slanderous jerks." This comic is the worst comic in the entire series. I can't believe that's actually a sentence that could be said, but this is the worst issue of Sonichu ever. The other issues were bad, but this was just loathsome, disgusting visuals, idiotic characters, stupidity around every corner. This issue was everything wrong in one comic. I can't believe I'm saying this, but at this point in Sonichu, there's only one direction it can go, and that's up. No, you know what? Correction. Anywhere but here is where it's going. See, Wiz, you got it over with, and I'm proud of you.
Yeah, but next time can we do something that's not total crap?
You know what? I can think of something that you can do for next time that'll make you happy.
Yeah? What's that?
Let's just say it's a top 10 list. Sonichu time once again. I don't want it to be Sonichu porn like last time. This is issue 9. The first 3 pages we see show the birthdays of Rosachu, the chaotic combo, which I'm assuming that's the day they all met, which is technically an anniversary, not a birthday, and Sonichu. After that, we see beach parties getting started as it's the beginning of spring break, complete with a joke taken straight from Family Guy. And then new characters. Because screw you, that's why. Jamster Sonichu, who popped up in issue 6 in the unreviewed epilogue of issue 7, and Loliza Rosachu. Then backstage we meet Jigglyami, a character created by Blanca, a troll that Chris was dating at the time, who was also in the comic. After this concert, we will be superstars! We can have any man we want, and with that kawaii haircut of yours, you're as cute as Sailor Mercury. You, the guitar hero of the stage, will wow the hearts of the audience. Yes, by their logic, them playing Guitar Hero on stage to a crowd of people makes them musicians. If that's the case, playing this thing would make me a musician. You're the flirtatious diva of the stage, girl. Besides, there's only one heart I'm most interested in. Although he's currently in another state of mind and dimension, I will wait for him. Then we get the Rosachu sunbathing, and for some reason they're wearing bathing suits despite half of them mostly walking around naked most of the time. And then we get this weird part where Bubble starts talking about how she can't tan because most of her body's made up of water, like we really give a crap. And then, rudely enough, the Rosachus insult a passing Rosachu. Oh my gosh, Becky, look at her butt. It's just, look at her, she's so black. Do you have that interdimensional portal working yet? I'm still working on it. Well, less singing Baby Got Back, more portal opening. And then Bubbles gets told by Magi-Chan to go find the next Sonichu ball. Wait, Magi-Chan can teleport, go get it yourself! Blake then kicks sand at the Rosachus. So yeah, Blake is officially on par with Butch the Bully from Cool Cat.
I don't like the sandcastle, so take this!
So Bubbles, pretending for her friends, takes Blake away, and they immediately see through the act they're in a relationship. And then we're introduced to this new Rosachu chick. To best introduce this new Rosachu, we have to go back to that faithful rainbow that originated from episode 1. In addition to the 5 eggs that hatched into the chaotic combo, numerous other eggs and various other Sonys and Rosies emerged as well. This one projected into space and landed on the Earth's moon. And now we introduce Sylvana Rosachu. In other words, forced backstory that poorly connects to the original story. So Sylvana lands on the moon, and she's found by Count Groudon, that evil scepter lollipop thing that Mary Lee Walsh is always carrying around. And he corrupts her by giving her male and female lower regions. Yeah, this is back when Chris really didn't know about transsexuality. So Sylvana's mission is to assist Groudon in his evil plans. Back in the present, she uses her transformation powers to turn into Bubbles, and tells Blake that she wants to screw under a dock. Wow. You know it's a low day when you reference Good Luck Chuck. That's what Sonichu does to you, people. That's what Sonichu does to you.
Meanwhile, actual Bubbles goes to get the Sonichu ball to give to Angelica to give to Magi-Chan. And then, for no reason to sap the next issue, Wild and Punchy start talking about relationships. Why is everyone's love life all of a sudden a big issue in these comics? Meanwhile, Sylvana poisons Blake with sleep nectar. Wait, don't guys feel sleepy after sex afterwards? Kinda pointless with the nectar, really. Jigglyami then finds Blake passed out in her trailer as Bubbles meets up with Sylvana, now disguised as Blake. And Magi-Chan, pretty friggin' late in the game, tells Bubbles telepathically that that's an imposter. Took you long enough, you didn't alert Blake earlier, Mr. Omnipresent. So Bubbles challenges Sylvana to do a lightning attack, but she can't mimic attacks. Bubbles sees through the ruse and they fight through a whirlwind. Because Bubbles now has the ability to do that. After, I guess she leaves, they don't really say, Jigglyami sings on stage, singing lyrics that are Japanese, apparently. And then we end with Chris telling us the things that are happening to him online. This comic sucks, but it's not the worst Sonichu comic. It's still a Sonichu issue through and through, but it's not issue 8 bad. Nothing will be issue 8 bad. The entire issue is just here to set up new characters and to build up what was supposed to be the last issue, issue 10. I say supposed because Chris originally wanted issue 10 to be the finale, but then he decided to make issue 12 be the finale, but we'll get to them as we get to them. Until then, I'm the Media Wiz, because one art form wasn't enough. Yeah, it's Sonichu time. It's Sonichu time. Just, let's get it over with. The cover is actually not that bad. It's pretty well drawn, and it shows all the main characters standing in action poses. Which is kind of ironic, seeing how, if you actually know what the comic's about, the first half of this issue is nothing but dating advice. Why is everyone's love life all of a sudden a big issue in these comics? Date Ed, even though the idea sounds dated. God, I hate puns, especially bad puns. The comic proper begins with Wild and Punchy going to this place to get an education, because Punchy wants to learn how to woo Angelica, and Wild just wants to learn how to fall in love. Oh, and hi, Zapina and Simonla from the end of issue 8. Say goodbye to Zapina. This is the last time we ever see her in the entire series. Maybe I'll get paired up with a great man. I have a dream of having a boy and nurturing him and loving my hubby. My son's name will be Reginald Sonny. We'll live together like a crappy 50s sitcom. Meanwhile, Punchy confidently thinks, I'm gonna ace this class and wow my Christian angel. And Wild nervously thinks, I'm so nervous my head is paralyzed, it won't turn at all. As the class begins, they say that they'll be practicing on dolls. Ew. And the teacher also says that they have to write an essay about why they're taking the class. How much you want to bet most of the people who wrote down in the essay wanted to learn how to get laid? So they take roll call and we're introduced to Reginald, who as far as I can tell is a Sneasel. Which, last time I checked, Sneasels are more of a bluish gray than they are a light blue. And then we're introduced to Ivy, Chris's next fake girlfriend, who Chris was so convinced that they were meant to be, he decides to bring God, and Jesus into the story. Yes, really, we're really going there. Children, I am God. I'm Jesus. Sup. If I go to heaven, I really hope God doesn't say that because I don't want God reminding me of Sonichu. Anyway, since there's a crapload of text, it basically just summarizes how Chris and Ivy were meant to be together. Well, until Chris's next fake girlfriend showed up. Ivy then wakes up from the vision saying, wow, like she just woke up from an LSD trip, and the entire class is paired up with one another, and to hide their identities, they're given fake screen names. Okay, I'm just gonna say right now, the idea for this class is freaking terrible. I mean, obviously this kind of thing would be so stupid it would never be real, but even if it was real, anonymously pairing students with other anonymous students is a bad idea. There's no interaction between the two other than text talk. I could keep going on about how stupid of an idea this is for a class. Now, it's not fair they're not asking any of the students if they're part of an alternate orientation, but let's just keep going. Oh, and South Park reference. Because screw you, that's why. So Wild was paired up with Simonla, Punchy is paired up with Flaffy, Ivy's creation, and Reginald's paired up with someone else, even though he wanted to be paired with Flaffy. And apparently Punchy fell in love with Flaffy shortly after knowing her for a short amount of time. Wow, Dig Dug It is such a fun treat. I wish I knew who she was. A 1 out of 7 chance. Wow, some of these are the most unsubtle names ever. Seriously, how did nobody figure out who they were paired up with yet? So Reginald, out of jealousy, messes with Punchy's computer, and Punchy tells Wild to go ask Flaffy out on a date with him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't do that. I'm pretty sure that you can't just ask a friend to ask a girl to go date with you, alright? Punchy, if you know who the girl is, just go over and ask her yourself. Simonla finally realizes that Wild was paired up with her, and they both fall madly in love with each other, in some of the crappiest artwork out of the entire series. That's a triumph, I gotta say. Punchy then takes Flaffy out on a date to a McDonald's ripoff. Ah yes, the true place of romance. on a motorcycle. Wait a minute, why would Punchy need a motorcycle? He's a Sonichu. They're the fastest things alive. Why would he need a motorcycle? Well, whatever. At MacD's, clever. Punchy feeds Flaffy some salad in a panel that looks horribly suggestive.
A sexual innuendo.
Reginald feels sad and alone, but Angelica shows up to comfort him. Please, I'd rather be comforted by Elizabeth Hurley as the devil. Oh, God, she is hot. We then see the three couples sitting together, watching the sunset. Can this really work, Wild? You're electric, I'm ground, you're grass. Sure, who cares? I mean, is it really a bad thing if a grass type and a digging type hook up, or was it some kind of interracial dating thing with Pokemon? And the first half of this comic officially ends with Ivy sitting on the roof of a mall, looking up at the sky, waiting for Chris to return. Say goodbye to Ivy. This is the last time we ever see her in the comic. So, that was the first half of the comic, and it was pretty boring. We'll get ready to be bored some more with the second half. Leading into the second half, we officially are announced that Billy Mays is now a character in Sonichu. The story proper opens with all the lovers waking up in their beds, including Angelica and Reginald waking up in a church. Yeah, Christians don't allow that. In fact, if anything, I think Christians would find that blasphemous. Next page, we see all the villains have officially come together, including Sylvana, Wesley. Oh, hi, Wesley. Haven't seen you since issue 6. And gay Nate Cirque. After that, we see the Sonichu residence, which I still think looks like the Blue's Clues house, and inside... If they start making unholy love right now, I'm just getting the hell out of here. Anyway, Sonichu tells Rosachu some terrible news that, gasp, they have homosexual fans. And to make matters worse, I was quoted wrongfully by a homo in a college somewhere in a paper essay he wrote promoting that choice, which is wrong, because I am again being wrongfully mislabeled as such. And they are dedicating a float of all things in their parade. I know, you know, Christian knows, and everyone should know that I, Sonichu, am straight. I want nothing to do with them and their papers, parades, and God knows whatever else. At all, ever. Because with every item they create with my name or face, or Christian's name or face, they again mislabel us. Oh no, the horror. Then Rosachu calms him down by saying that she will assist him in battle. Are we having the same conversation? Seriously, where the hell did that come from? So that looks like, no, you're not doing that. Don't go there. Well, thankfully we're spared of them doing that, as a loud boom goes off. Allison, Chris's secretary, sees that the city is under attack and calls the police, the Power Rangers, and Takeout. Ha! And now, the world's most boring fight scene since Transformers 3. Wild fights a bunch of jerk-offs that takes up 3 pages. Blake and Bubbles take out Decepticons. I would say this is bad fanfiction, but let's face it, it's been bad fanfiction since the beginning. Oh, and this fight scene, yeah, it goes on for 9 pages. Not even kidding. And then we see Magichan fighting Sylvana, and then Wesley calling up Mary Lee Walsh, and then Sonichu turns around and sees Chris's station wagon, which has Chris in it. Okay, no, just stop. Chris is supposed to be stuck in the time void. How the hell is he here all of a sudden? So Chris shows up just to disappear, as his car, as well as a couple other cars, turn into Autobots. Because why not? Because why not? Meanwhile, a building burns down and a Pokemon owner throws her Pokeballs out the window so the Pokemon will be safe. And the Pokemon were owned by Panda Halo, another one of Chris's fake girlfriends. Finding an ex-fake girlfriend was pretty easy. Some of you might be wondering what happened to Ivy, but they'll explain soon enough. Meanwhile, God, how many times have I said that in this review? Sonichu is fighting a Sonichu version of Liquid Chris. For those who don't know, Liquid Chris was a troll pretending to be Chris Chan in joke videos. So Sonichu defeats Liquid by giving him, I don't know, a hit with Thundertail, I'm assuming. And then Rosachu is captured by a Decepticon, as Sonichu is confronted by Robotnik, Giovanni, and Nate Cirque. Let me guess, something that's not Sonichu saves the day, right? Well, I'm right, as a freaking basketball takes out a Decepticon's hand, don't ask, as Bionic and Darkbind join the fight. And then we get a lame fight scene between Nate Cirque and Bionic, as it results in Nate Cirque getting him kicked in the balls, and he craps himself. Ha! Then, as Sonichu runs to fight Marilee Walsh, Magichan telepathically tells him about fatalities, one of them being Ivy, who died in an elevator accident. So yeah, Ivy's dead. This just got pretty freaking dark. So to wrap this crap up, Sonichu fights Marilee Walsh, Mary almost falls to her death, Sonichu saves her, and his reasoning is because he wants Chris to have the final defeat on her, and the comic ends with everyone posing happily in a group shot. This comic is really freaking boring. The art, most of the time, isn't as bad as it usually is in all these comics, but the entire thing is just one long snore fest. The first half is nothing but love lives that no one really cares about, and the second half is nothing but boring fight scenes that only Michael Bay would find engaging. But oh, there's only one more issue. Issue 12. And we'll talk about that next time on Sonichu Time. But until then, I'm the Media Wiz, because War Form wasn't enough. And if you excuse me, I'm going to take the rest of the week off, because Halloween's this Saturday, and I just want to enjoy the rest of the week until I have to go back to doing crap. So yeah, have a happy Halloween, folks. It's a little early, but have a happy Halloween. And if you need me, I'm just going to take the rest of the week off.
Hello, I'm the Critical Kid.
Hey everyone, it's Nostalgia Kid here.
Everyone on the Awesome Court loved Christmas a lot, but the Media Wiz, cause one motherfucking iPhone wasn't enough, did not. He hated this time, the whole season. No, don't ask why, cause they ain't paying me enough to do this shit. Maybe it's cause his socks was way too tight. How does socks affect my opinion again? Maybe it's cause his just wouldn't bust so right. Screw you. And you too. But the most likely reason of all, I think, is cause his was so small. Why are you so fascinated with my junk? And no, my anger is from what I have to review. And that is the Christmas issue of one Sonichu. The f*** is that? Well, you see, hang on. The cracker had to answer the door, and you'll have to wait next week to see who's at it. Anyway, am I getting f***ing paid already or what? Yeah, here you go. Yeah. That's more like it. Yeah. Although, wait, I got one more thing to say. Right. So, Sonichu. Oh, Sonichu, a series of webcomics created by Christian Weston Chandler, or Chris Chan for short. Let me tell you folks, these comics are bad. Really, really bad. Like, worse than Twilight bad. In fact, okay, I'm going to make a deal with you right now that at the end of every following month, I'm going to review at least one of these things. But alas, we must start from the 11th issue out of a 12-issue series. And the reason we're doing the 11th is because it's the Christmas issue, and because it's Christmas. So, let's dive deep into Sonichu issue 11. So we start with Chris Chan narrating about Christmas, even telling us that people like Jews, Muslims, and Buddhists celebrate Christmas. Yeah, no. Actually, the Muslims, the Jewish, and the Buddhists actually have their own separate holidays. Anyway, we see the Sonichu house, which kind of looks like the house from Blue's Clues, and we see Sonichu, Rosachu, and their children. Yeah, they multiplied. Well, trust me, when we get to issue 10, it'll actually make a surprisingly large amount of sense. So, Sonichu talks to his son, Robbie, as they talk for a little bit, and Robbie says that he wants to get a Mario and Sonic game with Uncle Sonic. So Sonic is basically to this what Chester Cheetah was for Food Fight. They're in it for a few seconds, and then they're out of there. Also, why does Robbie have no fingers? Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Rosachu and one of the daughters are cooking cookies. The female characters are in the kitchen cooking. Sexism! Anyway, Sonichu has to go to the store. Why does Sonichu need a car? I mean, he's part Sonic the Hedgehog, fastest thing alive. And Christy wants Rosachu to listen to her play song, which is apparently so important it takes up an entire page dedicated to it. This scene is pointless. Let's skip it. So Sonichu clears the snow, then takes a shower, and Rosachu is watching as she says, "Bless his heart." Yeah, it's no surprise that this comic sucks. The biggest complaint I have about this story is that absolutely nothing of importance or value happens. I mean, we don't even get a Santa cameo. I mean, nothing about this really screams Christmas-worthy. It just has Christmas in it, but nothing really Christmassy really happens in it. Overall, this is one of the more pointless of the comics. It's not really insulting like some of the other issues get, but trust me, those are going to be fun.
I'm D-Stacks, and this is a bad review.
I'm the fanfic critic. I read it, you listen.
Chaos Master, what are you doing here? Hello everybody, I'm Tony from Corrupted Gaming, and this is...
I'm Dane.
Hi there, welcome to Britannia Reads.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Zach Creepy Reading.
And welcome to another Cute Fuzzy Weasel Reads. We were going to be doing the much anticipated Sonichu.
We're going to be reading Sonichu.
And so this week we are reviewing Sonichu. Fuck!
Why did I even do this?
Can't believe you talked me into this.
It was horrible.
From Agony in Pink to My Immortal, from Rangers of Nim to Squad Broken.
The artwork is atrocious, the story is all over the place, the layout is bad.
But this is just hard to follow.
This isn't a wonderful world, it's a terrible place. It's where all your dreams and hopes go to die.
The self-insertion of the author is rather annoying. It's too dragged out in spots. Some parts you don't even know what the hell is going on.
That this is the worst webcomic, and trust me, I agree.
I'll probably be eating those words, won't I?
All of them tremble before the unholy splendor that is Sonichu.
Is he okay? He's been like that all morning. Do you think I should dial 911, future kid? Oh, finally, I'm finally free. It's been such a long time, let me tell you, about me planning to finally be here right now. Future kid, what the hell is that? Oh, well, you see, let me guess. You're a brain tumor that originated from Wiz's brain that grows more and more powerful the more he talks about Sonichu, and you grew so strong to the point where you decided to pull off your own designated goal of trying to take over his body. Well, yeah, that's actually it. Well, that's all fine and good, but I have one question. What were you going to do exactly once you've taken over his body? Well, I actually didn't think that part through. Yeah, we're done here. Guys, what happened? Oh, well, you see, kid. Well, you got a brain tumor trying to take over your body, but I was able to paralyze him with this. Well, is there any way we can get rid of him? Well, let me work on the sonic screwdriver a little bit. Maybe I can find a way to split your atoms so that he can grow his own physical body and then we can destroy him that way. As of now, I think it'd be best to just finish your Sonichu review thing. Yeah, see you then, kid. We'll be working. Well, okay, fair enough. Well, this is the finale of Sonichu, which means that this is going to be the final episode of Sonichu time. We've been waiting for this a long time, haven't we, folks? So, let's get started. This is Sonichu issue 12. The cover on this one is pretty good, and the reason is because it's traced from a stock Sonic image. The comic itself begins with Wild and Magi-Chan getting Chris out of the time void, and Chris is just standing there. Yes, because as we all know, giant, empty, open voids of nothing clearly have platforms for people to stand on and count as a ground. Anyway, Chris gets out of the time void and he tells them of the future. So, anyway, I traveled to the year 2015. Yeah, I'd count it as a ripoff. It looks about the same state as now. I took part in a medical study. While I was there, I met Lovely Weather, or rather, she found me. She was married to my future self, and little Crystal was there with her. She turned out healthy, strong, and cute. Lovely was hot. She mistook me for myself, and we went home. I was late getting home from work that night, so Lovely and I did the do, and it was awesome. This issue of Sonichu is brought to you by the letters TMI. Then Chris wastes an entire page talking about a disease that spread in 2015. And no, it isn't Ebola. It's homosexuality. Well, something big did happen with homosexuals in 2015, but Chris is really off. And, pray tell, what is the cure for homosexuality by this comic's logic? A vaccine of blood from a straight man. Yeah, that is totally not how vaccines work. So Chris talks about finishing off his real-life enemies in one last comic, and he tells all the other characters to do stuff. Chris transforms, and he's off. The first thing he does is go to a building that represents his old Sonichu website, and since that site got hacked by trolls a lot, he fights a bunch of troll demon things. Chris wins, of course, and he blows up the building. Sonichu, directed by Michael Bay. Meanwhile, Jason from issue 8 watches Chris and plans a trap, and for some reason, Sackboy's there. Just go with it. Chris gets trapped by the cage thing from Mousetrap, and Satan comes to take Chris's Sonichu medallion. Satan only appeared in one issue out of this entire comic series, and now all of a sudden, in the very last issue, he's now part of the villain's plan. Because he's Satan, who cares?
But Chris pulls out a Deus Ex Machina in the form of a ring that gives him the ability to transform.
Ever since issue 3, they've established that Chris has the ability to transform because of his Sonichu medallion. Now, out of nowhere, this ring that Chris just happens to have gives him that power.
Chris defeats Satan, then there's a weird reference to some guy called Jimmy Hill, another Chris troll, and then Gay Nateser comes to hit Chris with a 2x4 of wood as Chris just sleeps on a park bench.
What, did Chris need a quick power nap or something?
So they engage in admittedly the best drawn scene in all of Sonichu, even if it is traced, and Chris sticks Nateser with a needle of his blood, turning him straight, and herpaderp, it actually works. Well, life is better now. That evil homo is gone, and Nateser is back straight, and Kel will feel a lot better now that her sweetheart has returned.
Okay, we get it. Nateser is straight again. We don't need to have him paired up with Kel, who, need to remind you, hasn't appeared in this entire comic series ever since she was off-screen mentioned in issue 2.
Chris and the Sonichus meet up with band equipment outside the 4-cent garbage building. Sonichu puts on a Parappa the Rapper hat, and Chris turns from Toon to human with a shirt that doesn't even match continuity-wise. And if you couldn't guess, they destroy the building with music.
Insert Rainbow Rocks joke here? Question mark?
Inside the building, Jason flees as Satan converses with Clyde Cash and Jack Thaddeus, two Chris trolls, and they talk about how the building is going to slowly be destroyed. Yes, Christian killed me with his hyper beam, but where was I going to go? Detroit? No. This trolling gig is my hell, and after this building crumbling fall, I will be damned to aid Count Graduan. I was the main assistant of Adolf Hitler. Biggest mistake ever. Right in that Fuhrer's face. You, Clyde Cash, and Thaddeus, for being homos, will both have the minion devils gnawing and gnashing at your asses for all of eternity. Not only for being homos, but for trolling and slandering and tarnishing an innocent man's good name, and further darkening your own kind's name among the view of not only Christian, but to everyone else in the entire world. And thus, Clyde and Jack Thaddeus die by falling down an elevator shaft. There were about 1,500 people within the 4-cent garbage building's lower 71 floors. The closest to the ground floor made it safely and unscathed from the basement fallout shelter. Sonichu and the rest of us heroes cleared out the majority of the rubble. I called for ambulances. 20 of them arrived. 500 people were perfectly unharmed. 250 were too drunk or passed out, and they needed help from the sober trolls. Half of the 250 drunks made it out safely. The other half, plus 125 sober, were either hurt, injured, or dead. They had 250 injured, 150 safe but hurt, and 100 dead. What a waste. Every one of those people could have done a lot more with their lives, but instead they wasted their time spying, hacking, and torturing innocents.
Yeah, it's a little late to feel sorry about the people who died in that building, seeing how you're the reason it blew up.
Magi-Chan comes back from the future and tells Chris and Sonichu that in the future there is no more homosexuality, and Magi-Chan finally hooks up with Sylvana, who is now full-on female.
I really have no way to make fun of that. It just kind of speaks for itself.
Then, out of nowhere, God, how many times have I said that this review? Meg from Family Guy shows up and hits it off with Chris. A man then shows up and mistakes Meg for a guy. Excuse me, sir, do you have the time? Firstly, sir, Megan is a woman, and I will have no one mislabel her otherwise. Second is 305. Oh well, excuse me, my apologies, Madam Chrissy. I am a man!
Must not do it because Webcomic Relief already did it, but screw it, just show it.
I am a man!
Chris punches the guy and then they make out.
Wait, doesn't Chris have a wife in the future? Does this technically count as cheating?
As Chris leaves, Meg is then revealed to be Sylvana in disguise. And before you think this is going to lead up to anything, spoiler alert, it doesn't. The next page I'm going to read in full just to let you know how hypocritical the entire thing is from what we've read so far. I personally want to extend my apologies for offending a bunch of homosexual people and others with the past few pages. I have stated time after time again and again that I, Christian Weston Chandler, am and always have been a straight man, and unless stated otherwise, of a few of the majority of the characters, including Sonichu and Rosachu, are all straight too. Finally, I have drilled those facts into y'all's thick skulls, successfully. While I do feel success, I feel remorse because of a decrease of fan support. Regardless of y'all's own race, orientation, love us, or hate and troll us, I would probably have ended this
book early issue 3 without your support and all. You all are what you all are, and I am heterosexual, and I deeply apologize for offending y'all. Please do not leave me, and I will draw and write what I appropriately will. Christian Weston Chandler. Yeah. You can't do that. You can't have the first half of the comic say that homosexuality is wrong and that it's a disease, and then turn around and say that you're perfectly fine with people who are gay. You can't do that. So, Sonichu and Chris use the magic Sonichu balls and transform into these things. Chris saves Crystal from the mirror, and Sonichu reunites Darkbind Sonichu with Zelda Rosachu. Yay! Subplots that were barely paid attention to finally get a conclusion! Next thing we see is Chris and Sonichu go to Tennessee, to the home of Alec Benson Leary. Chris hacks Alec's computer, and Sonichu comes across the cast of Asperchu. Okay, explanation time. Asperchu is a parody comic of Sonichu, with the main character being a cross between Chris and Sonichu with Asperger's. Before anyone requests that I review it, I'm not going to do that. Asperchu is intentionally bad, and making fun of a parody, good or bad, is difficult to do. We never wanted Asperger's. We never wanted to look stupid, gross, and retarded, and we are sick and tired of Alec and his crew. This body type and these glasses are terrible. I need a girlfriend too. Yeah, Chris had a really huge thing against people with Asperger's syndrome, despite the fact that Asperger's is on the autistic spectrum. Irony! So Sonichu heals them of Asperger's. Looks like Donald Trump's BS about autism being a disease was actually right. And as Chris walks in, all the Asperchu characters bow to Chris like a deity. Oh, listen, y'all, I am not God, but a servant of him and Jesus, like the rest of you. The first commandment reads, "Thou shalt have no other gods before him," but I appreciate the gesture. Back at Sonichu HQ, the rest of the group yell at the Asperchu comics for being disrespectful to them. Then Sonichu helps a group of Rosachu prostitutes. And now adding that to the list of things I never thought I would say. And then Sonichu comes across a Jamaican guy smoking weed. Sonichu then breaks the mind control that Mary Lee Walsh has over the jerk-ops, and Chris engages in a fight scene with Mary Lee Walsh, complete with God of War blades. Chris wins, because of course he does, and then Chris just continues to backpedal to the audience about some guy named Evan who created Simonla originally, and he no longer wants Chris to include her in the comic. And with Simonla, she's going to the bathroom as it gets blown up by a Voltorb. This is getting pretty dark again. How did we get here? How did I get here? Feels good to use that joke again. Simonla's taken to the hospital and it's revealed that she had a baby with Wild. Yeah, sure, why not? It makes no sense to me, but don't worry, the comic's almost done. So Simonla dies and the egg hatches as Wild cries tears of joy. Also, I love the inconsistency of how the baby is able to speak English despite the fact that issue 4 showed that the Sonichus are born saying only Sonny or Rosie every word. Then, for whatever reason, the comic just turns its focus to Wild raising the kid named Sandy. And in about a week or so, she's about the size of a kindergartner. This comic just took the fabric of space and time, bent it over a barrel, and showed it to 50 states. Anyway, they go to court, and all of Chris's trolls lose because the whole courtroom is obviously on Chris's side. And then they're taken to physical punishment, including electric chairs, being gunned down, and having their limbs broken. Wow. Just wow. I didn't think we could surpass the weirdness level with Sonichu porn, but apparently taking a bunch of internet trolls to court and then having them physically tortured... It's just for typing something that made someone go, oh wow! That's surpassing it, surprisingly. So yeah, they're dead. Killed. Murdered. Gone. No more. Once again, all this because... For typing something that made someone go, oh wow! And the final page has Chris giving the final speech. Sonichu fans from here will join in others from around the world, and you will be witnessing the largest personal image change in the history of mankind. Mankind. That word should have a new meaning for all of us today. We can't be consumed by all of our petty differences anymore. We will be united in our common interests, perhaps the fate that today is Mexico's Flag Day, and we will once again be saluting an image of freedom, not just for trolling, loneliness, or persecution, but also from broken hearts we are all fighting for. Our right to love, to be honest, and when the sun sets today, the 24th of February, we will no longer be known as a Mexican holiday, but as the day Sonichu fans and I declare in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to survive. Today we celebrate our Christian Love Day. And that concludes Sonichu issue 12, completing all of the Sonichu series. And this comic was horrible. They all suck. But this and issue 8 in particular are seriously neck and neck for the worst of the bunch. For a comic called Sonichu, it focuses more on Chris's life and the trolls that trolled him, and the ending is the most horrific thing I've ever seen in a long time. The art has admittedly gotten better somewhat, but that's just grasping for compliments. This is easily one of the worst Sonichu issues alongside with issue 8. But while we're wrapping this crap show up, I feel the need to ask and answer the question, is Sonichu the worst thing ever? Well, it is and isn't. I hated Inappropriate Comedy more for the pure sheer fact that that was in theaters and that costed money. In fact, a lot of people say that comics like Spider-Man One More Day and Holy Terror are worse. And in a way, they're right. They are worse, because they're actual comics sold in stores to make money. But does that take away from the wretchedness of Sonichu? God, no. Sonichu is still god-awful. Bad artwork, bad story, bad characters, bad dialogue, self-indulgent, and in some aspects directly offensive. So while Sonichu is the worst literary thing I've ever reviewed, it's probably not the worst thing I've ever reviewed. Alright, Wiz, you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Oh, my physical body. Oh, hi, Mia, Wiz. Look, I've taken out Pop Culture Wiz and sent his sorry ass to purgatory. I think I can take you out too. Alright then. Well, let's do this. Let's go. Electric Hedgehog power. Okay, just let me put on the... Okay. Yeah, let's go. It's just like when I was in your mind. You think you can get rid of me, but I'm never leaving. Maybe an annoying thought that lingers on forever and will probably never go away, but I know something that you're scared of. Criticism. No, please, please don't do that. Anything but that. Sonichu sucks. 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 Sonichu sucks.
Sonichu sucks. Sonichu sucks. Sonichu sucks.
Sonichu sucks. Sonichu sucks. Sonichu sucks.
Sonichu, huh? It sucks.
Fuck you, Sonichu. Fuck you, Sonichu. Fuck you, Sonichu.
Sonichu sucks. Sonichu sucks.
Sonichu sucks. Sonichu sucks. Sonichu sucks.
Sonichu sucks. Sonichu sucks. Sonichu sucks.
Oh, I have heard of Sonichu. I really wish I hadn't heard of Sonichu. I would be a much happier man if I hadn't.
It is the worst fanfiction ever written, the worst comic ever written, possibly the worst thing ever written, period.
Sonichu sucks. Sonichu sucks.
Fuck Sonichu! Fuck Sonichu, its universe, its characters, and everything that is related to this steaming pile of self-absorbed dick cheese!
Kid, what if he comes back? Don't worry about it. Us criticizing Sonichu has weakened him so much, I don't even think he'll be able to muster up any energy to want to come back. But Wiz, aren't you going to review the Sonichu amiibos? What? Hell no. But Wiz, what if there's another Sonichu comic? Let me make this abundantly clear. We are never doing this Sonichu crap ever again, alright? We're not going to be that Sonichu review show. We're not going to be that My Little Pony review show, alright? We're just not doing it, alright? Never. We're not talking about Sonichu ever again. I'm the Media Wiz because One Art Forum wasn't enough. Seriously though, no more Sonichu. Well, what are we going to be reviewing today to start off the new year? Steve, if you think I'm reviewing that, you've got another thing coming. But Wiz, come on, it's just a funny little video that's gonna get people back into the sway of things, come on. Well, screw you, alright? I'm not doing Sonichu. I made a vouch to myself, I'm not doing Sonichu ever again. You can't make me, I don't give a crap. Get someone else to do the review. I don't care who it is, get just somebody else to do the review, alright? I'm not doing it. If you need me, I'm going to the rec room to listen to some smooth jazz, alright? Just somebody else for the review. It's not me. It isn't me, man. It's not me. Okay. The comic, which doesn't have a cover page, properly begins with Sonichu and Rosachu in the kitchen. I had a great time last night, Sweet Bolt. Me too. I enjoyed having your 7-inch lightning rod inside me. Yeah, that's a great way to start. And then their son Robbie enters the room. Daddy, what's a 7-inch whitening wad? I can show you tonight, partner. Then Chris pops up telling us that Sonichu is not a pedophile.
Oh yeah, sure, he's not a pedophile. You know, just like how PETA from Hunger Games wasn't a pedophile.
A very derpy-looking Magichan telephonically tells Sonichu that Mary Lee Walsh and the Jerkops are attacking the mall, and Sonichu says he will be there after he's done breakfast.
Ah yes, because as we all know, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So much so that it's actually more important than helping people in danger.
At the mall, Sonichu talks to the cops who can't take care of 4 Jerkops.
The police can't take out 4 guys. Really? You just get out your nightsticks and crack them across the face.
And they can't take out the Jerkops even with the help of the Power Rangers.
Hey! You do not bring the greatest hero since the Ninja Turtles into this shit!
Sonichu then teams up with Wild, whose lower half is brown and not green. We then see Reginald talking to Robbie about the 7-inch lightning rod thing, and Reginald shows off his crotch to the kids.
Okay, I really wish I made that up, but I didn't. It's actually in the comic. Just look. I did not make any of what I just said up.
Rosicru then shows up and tells Reginald to calm himself and to go upstairs, and she also tells the kids to go watch some Family Guy.
Yeah, because Family Guy is totally a kid's show. Now look, to the author it might be, but the harsh reality is Family Guy is a show rated TV-14 or TVMA. So yeah, it's best not to show it to your kids.
Rosicru then talks to Reginald, who then reveals that him and Angelica haven't been intimate in months.
That doesn't justify showing your wiener to children.
She then calms him down by quoting scripture. For the Bible says that the lips of an adulteress drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil, but in the end is bitter as gall, sharp as the double-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps lead straight to the grave.
That was the best part of this entire comic.
And then Chris tells us not to have premarital sex. Then Sonichu and Wild defeat the Jerkoffs off-screen, but Sonichu has to fight Mary Lee Walsh, and after he slaps her, she just leaves.
This comic would be really different if it took place in the inner city. It would end at 12 o'clock in the morning with pistols and blood on the pavement.
But it seems Mary left some bombs in the store, killing Angelina and Bubbles.
Damn, I can write better. Na's not even that smart.
Magichan then tells Reginald about how Angelica is now dead, and instead of having the common reaction of holy crap, my girlfriend is now dead, he immediately thinks he wants to hook up with Rosicru, and it doesn't help that Magichan's immediate advice is to go get a blow-up doll.
Well great, everyone in this comic is either a dick or an idiot. God, it's like watching a bad horror movie.
We then see Wild with his daughter Sandy on her way to school, but she's hit by a car driven by some dude who's texting.
That would be like if in the middle of this review it just cut to an anti-texting while driving PSA. Wait.
So, Sandy's dead, and at the funeral, Sonichu calls up his Spanish lesbian housemaid.
It's a little oddly specific.
And she tells them that the kids are dead from drinking bleach.
Shit, people in that last Harry Pothead book didn't die as much as all the people in this comic book is dying.
And with his daughter dead, Wild then shoots himself, and Rosicru then suffocates the last of her kids, who has brain damage. Meanwhile, Sonichu is drinking at a bar, and as he finds his way home, he then talks to Rosicru about a divorce.
And yet their relationship is still better than Edward and Bella in Twilight. That's still a popular joke, right?
The truth is, I can't stop blaming you for the death of our 3 babies. I resent you leaving that bottle of drain cleaner where they could have reached it. I told you 100 times to put it in the top shelves where they could not get into it. Robbie and Christine died, and Sarah suffered 3 weeks of being a drooling slow in the mind. And who knows what kind of pain she had to suffer because of your negligence. I have to be honest, Rosicru. Every time I see you, I don't see my wife, but the woman who killed my kids. I don't want to share a bed or my life with you anymore. And this comic ends with Chris giving us yet another lecture about lust over love, and I will promptly skip that.
So that was Sonichu issue 13. And as bad as it was, it's still not as bad as issue 12 or issue 8.
The artwork is worse than the previous issues, the characters are even stupider and more mean-spirited, and it feels too damn harsh for a proper finale. But that's kinda why it works. I mean, it's so morbid and dark, it actually kinda feels funny to me.
So yeah, this comic sucks, but hey, it's the official end of Sonichu, isn't it? I'm the media whiz, cause one art form wasn't enough. Oh, by the way, it's not a real comic. Yeah, Chris didn't make it, just some guy on DeviantArt. So yeah, this entire thing was a joke.